We'll start with chapter 3, right? Chapter 1 and chapter 2 are introductory chapters. Introduction about characters and some basic ideas, incidents, Jagan's character, Mali's character, and the death of the wife, and cousin, and all these characters and incidents, right? The story starts from chapter 3 onwards, right? Mali said one morning, I have an idea. Jagan felt slightly nervous and asked, what may it be? Right? So one morning, Mali says an idea to his father. That means they are at home at the breakfast table. I have an idea. So father asks, what may it be? What is it? The boy paused while swallowing his breakfast. I can't study anymore. So Mali refuses to go to college, his studies. The father was aghast, shocked, surprised. Anyone been rude to you in the college? Then college නොයන්න හේතුව මොකක්ද? Has anyone been rude to you? Does anyone torture you? Bully? Underline. Let them try. මම මේක අහනවා තව තැනකදී. තව chapter එකකදී අහනවා. එතෙන්දිත් එනවා let them try කියන එක නෑ. Let them කියලා කියනවා. අන්න එතෙන්දි මම අහනවා මේක කලින් තිබුණේ කොහෙද කියලා. Right? Let them try. In this expression, let them try. මෙන්න මේ expression එක ඇතුලේ ලොකු idea එකක් තියෙනවා. Has anyone been rude to you in the college? Let them try. Try කරලා බලන්න කියන්නකෝ. කරලා බලන්න කියන්නකෝ. Anyone been rude to you? කවුරු හරි ඔයාට කරදර කරනවා. Right? So this shows that Mali is a mischievous character. Arrogant. Right? Somewhat a stubborn character. College එකේ අනිත් අයට බය නැතුව ඉන්න කෙනෙක් වගේ. Let them try. Tell me what happened. Nothing, said the boy. I don't find it interesting, that's all. So the college studying is not interesting, that's all. I don't find it interesting, that's all. And he went on munching his food with his eyes down, munching, chewing. Jagan had never seen him so serious. Now Mali is in a serious mood. The boy seems to have suddenly grown up. He had never spoken to his father in this tone before. So Jagan sees a different character of Mali. He has suddenly grown up. Somewhat matured ideas. In a different way he speaks. ඒක ජගන්ට ෆැමිලියර් නෑ මේ ටෝන් එක. ඒක හරි සීරියස් ටෝන් එකකින් සීරියස් මූඩ් එකකින්. Jagan merely repeated, if it's something I can do, tell me. So Jagan wants to help the son to overcome this situation or to overcome this problem. Tell me if there is anything I can do. I don't want to study, that's all, repeated the boy. So again and again, Mali refuses to go to college, his education. The morning sun came through a glass tile and touched up with radiance the little heap of appumo on his plate. This appumo means a traditional Indian food prepared by frying semolina. Semolina, rulang, බැදලා හදන traditional කෑමක්. So Jagan has prepared this appumo as breakfast. මේක අර තෙල් වලින් බැදලා හදන නිසා මේ වහලේ තියෙනවා glass tile එකක්. ඔය traditional ගෙවල් වල ලංකාවේ පරණ ගෙවල් වල තියෙනවා උළු කැට අතරට වීදුරු ටයිල් එකක් දාලා වීදුරු කැටයක් දාලා තියෙනවා. ඒතොර අර කුප්පි ලාම්පු පත්තු කරන කාලේ දවල් දවසට ගේ ඇතුළට එළිය වැටෙන්න අර ග්ලාස් ටයිල් එක ප්‍රයෝජනවත් වෙනවා. ඒක තැන් තැන් වලට දාලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට ගේ ඇතුළේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් natural light. මෙන්න මේකෙන් වැටෙනවා the rays of the sun. ඒක directly වැටෙනවා on the plate. plate එකට වැටුනහම අර oil ගතිය නිසා සහ semolina පොඩි පොඩි ඇට වගේ තියෙන නිසා මේක shine වෙනවා. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මම දැන් explain කරන්නේ. The morning sun came through a glass tile and touched up with radiance the little heap of appumo on his plate. A piece of green chili and some globules. Globules means oil bubbles. Made the stuff sparkle. එතකොට මේක අර මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ පොඩි පොඩි කැට කැට වගේ දිලිසෙනවා. oil ගතියට shine. Catching Jagan's eye instantly. At once Jagan sees this. For a moment, making him wonder if he had made some strange edible gem set. මේක හරියට නිකන් gem plate එකක් වගේ පේන්නේ Jagan. Jagan කල්පනා කරනවා. Have I prepared gem set? Edible, eatable, can be eaten. Gem set. මේ කන්න පුළුවන් විදිහේ මැනික් ප්ලේට් එකක්ද මම අද හදලා තියෙන්නේ. Rather than mere frying semolina and spicing them, instead of frying semolina and spicing and making appumo, have I made today a strange edible gem set? අර එකපාරට උදේ පාන්දරේ වගේ අයිඩියා එකක් කිව්වහම අපිත් අහන්නේ අද මොකෝ ඇඳේ අනිත් පැත්තෙන්ද නැගිට්ටේ කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් අහන්නේ අද මොන හරි කැවුනද කියලා. ඒ වගේ. Shaking himself out of his fantasy, he said, "All right, I'll come to your college and speak to those people." Underline, the boy looked up angrily. Mali's that expression reveals that he doesn't like his father to come to college. College ජනවට කැමතිව නැහැ. In his anxiety to communicate a new idea to his father, he had become brusque, silent with anger, and aggressive. His face was flushed. So he shows a great anger and dislikeness. So early in the morning, and the boy showing such a temper. Jagan reflected. Why is this? Early in the morning, the boy is angry. As if temper had an approved timetable. All right, get on with your eating. We'll talk these things later. Right. The son refuses to go to college. But the father doesn't uh, push or doesn't force the son to go to college. දැන් නිකන් ඕගොල්ලෝ කියන්නකො බලන්න දැන් I can't study anymore කියලා. What would be the reaction of your parents? But Jagan is different. He doesn't force the son. He doesn't blame the son. Instead, he says, okay, get on with your eating. We'll talk these things later. මෙන්න මේ behavior එක පැත්තකින් strange. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් we cannot approve this behavior as a father. He mumbled when he should have said, swallow your food and run off to your class. Right? So that should be a father's reaction. Swallow your food and run off to class. Underline, he was a cowardly father. So that is Narayan's idea on Jagan's behavior. So this is not the accepted behavior of a good father. If Jagan had been a good father, he should have told, swallow your food and run off to class. But here, Jagan is a cowardly father and says, get on with your eating, we'll talk these things later. And felt afraid to mention class or college. Now Jagan is afraid to mention class or college. What will happen? The boy might scream at the mention of the college or kick away his breakfast. So now it is confirmed that Mali is a mischievous character. Now father cannot control him. Right? If father tells anything about the college or the class or study, definitely Mali would kick off the plate. Underline, Jagan had an almost maternal obsession about the boy's feeding. Maternal, motherly attitude about Mali's feeding. What is this motherly attitude about feeding? You should have this experience. Just think about how your father and how your mother feed you. දැන් අම්මා තේ එකක් හැදුවත් බොනකාන් කෑ ගහනවා. කිව්වත් කනකාන් කෑ ගහනවා. කෑවත් කාලා නෑ කියලා කෑ ගහනවා. කැව්වොත් මේකක් කන්න. තවමදි මේකක් කන්න. So mothers force. But fathers තාත්තලා හැම force කරන්නේ නැහැ. බඩගිනිද? බඩගිනි උනානම් බෙදාගෙන කන්නකො. Right? They don't force. So although Jagan is the father, he has this maternal obsession, a motherly attitude about boys feeding. At home, he spent all his time cooking for his son. It had started when his wife had the first attack of brain fever and was taken to the hospital. When he was old enough to notice things, Mali had asked, Father, why don't you engage a cook? So when Jagan's wife or Mali's mother was admitted to the hospital, right? අර chapter 2 එකේ මම එකක් කිව්වේ දෙක introductory paragraphs කියලා. ඒකේ තිබුණා that Jagan's wife had a serious or very severe headache. She had knotted the towel around her temples, madly swaying back and forth, desperately begging aspirin. Right? අන්න ඒ headache. එතකොට මේක brain fever attack එකක්. First one. So wife was admitted to the hospital and Jagan had to start cooking for his son. So Jagan started cooking. And when Mali grew up and when he sees that father is cooking, Mali makes a suggestion. What is it? Father, why don't you engage a cook? I don't believe in engaging in a cook. Jagan doesn't like the idea of employing a cook. Why not? Do we engage the servant to do the breathing for us? Food is similar. Food and breathing are similar. Why? These two are very important for a man to live or to continue his life. If we stop breathing, we die. If we stop eating, we die. And also, if you block somebody's breathing, that person dies. And in the same way, if somebody poisons your food, you will die. So both are very important. We cannot engage a servant to do the breathing for us. We cannot give the breathing for an outsider. That means my life depends on somebody else, an outsider. So if the outsider fails to breathe for me, I will die. So breathing is very important. So we cannot engage anybody else to do the breathing for us. And even if somebody else makes us food, if that particular person poisons, we die. අදත් නිවුස් එකක් තියෙනවනේ ළමා දිනේට happy children's day අමතක වුණා. right? අර ළමා දිනේට කෑම දීලා විස වෙලා 45ක් hospital ගියා. මම දැක්ක නිවුස් එකක් තියෙනවා. right? So it is very serious. Do we engage the servant to do the breathing for us? Food is similar. Oh, father, father, the boy cried. Don't you engage cooks in your sweetmeat shop? Then why there are cooks in the sweetmeat shop? Oh, that's different. It's like a factory. And they are specialists and technicians. ඒක අපිට කන්න හදන ෆුඩ් එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ. ඒක සේල් එකට. බිස්නස් එක. So they are special people, specialists. So they prepare things to be sold. Said Jagan, giving full rein to his imagination, full force, full strength to his imagination. The boy failed to grasp the distinction. Distinction means the difference. And cried desperately. Mali did not understand the difference. Underline, I do not want you to cook for me hereafter. We have our college canteen. I can look after myself. So, as I told you, Mali seems to be an arrogant character and very mischievous. So he says, no, don't cook for me. We have the college, I have the college canteen and I can look after myself. That means I can eat at the college canteen. The practice had continued, particularly after his wife's death. Especially after the wife's death, Mali stopped eating at home. He continued to eat at the college canteen. Jagan became obsessed with his son's diet and brooded over the question night and day. The Mali gathering කණේක නැවැත්තුවට පස්සේ Jagan became more attached to Mali's food, Mali's feeding. And he started brooding, thinking over it night and day. Throughout the day and night, Jagan started thinking of his son's food diet. At night before retiring, he held a long conference with his son on not only what he had eaten during the day, but what he would prefer to eat next day. So Jagan gets the chance. Then make a seriousness එක බලන්න. Jaganගේ attitude එකත් එක්ක. Jagan එක පැත්තකින් has the maternal obsession about boys feeding. අර වගේ බොහොම concern. Jagan is concerned about boys feeding. ඒ වගේ කෙනෙකුට තමන්ගේ පුතා පිටතනකින් කනවා. තමන්ගේ ගෙදරින් කන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේ හිතුනහම ඒක යට ලොකු burden එකක්. So he started thinking. He held a long conference with his son, not only what he had eaten during the day, but what he would prefer to eat next day. Right. So Jagan can prepare some food, Mali's favorite foods, as a breakfast. The son cornered at this hour. That means the son did not like this conversation. He cornered. Answered in usual manner of half syllables and clip sentences. Half answers. Yeah. See, we'll see. Right, like that way. He just answers just for the sake of answering, without any attention. කන් ඔහේ උත්තර දෙන්න ඕනවට උත්තර දෙනවා. And the day would conclude with Jagan's exposition of his usual theories of nutrition. Halfway through which Mali would turn away and bolt the door of his room. So when the conversation continues, Mali refuses the conversation, rejects the conversation, and he locks the door of his room, leaving Jagan with his unfinished sentence. So Jagan cannot complete, even he cannot complete the sentence. On the halfway, he closed the door. He would spend a few moments staring at the door, then rise and unroll his mat in the open veranda in the second block and fall asleep before the gong at the taluk office sounded 9. So Jagan goes to sleep at 9 o'clock and he wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Gong means this some kind of a bell, right? So in factories, tea estates, you can hear this gong. Okay, ඉස්සරහ අපි කියන මණිය ගහනවා කියලා. මණිය. ලොකු යකඩ කෑල්ලකට තව යකඩ කෑල්ලකින් ගහනවා ටන් 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 ගාලා ගන්නවා. Now he felt desperate to know what his son would do if he left the college, or rather the college canteen. That's the reason. So education is not Jagan's concern. If Mali leaves the college, he doesn't get a chance to eat at the college canteen. So it's not only the education, but also Mali's feeling. He asked idiotically, very foolishly, he asked, where will you eat? Then college යන එක නතර කරා කියලා කිව්වට පස්සේ අහන්න ඕන ඔයා කොහොමද එතකොට ස්ටඩීස් කරගන්නේ ඉගෙන ගන්න කොහොමද college යන්නේ නැතුව? ඒ අහනවා වෙනකොට අහනවා where will you eat? college යන්නේ නැතුව කොහෙන්ද කන්නේ? His son smiled grimly, mockingly smiled. Why do you bother when you keep saying one need not eat? Now that is what your policy. One should not eat, one need not to eat. So why do you bother about my feeding? He put on his yellow shirt, picked up his bicycle and was off. Jagan had to bottle up his confusion until the arrival of his cousin in the evening. So Mali leaves the house. So at 4:30 when cousin arrives, until he arrives, Jagan had to bottle up, control, press down his confusion. Come here, he cried the moment he sighted him, much to the bewilderment of the cousin, who wanted first of all to go through and try the sweets as they come out of the frying pan. So that is the one and only expectation uh, of cousin, right? Cousin comes to Jagan's shop just because he can eat free sweets. එතකොට sweets කන්න කලින් කතාවට අල්ලගත්තොත් he cannot eat the sweets. Your banalities can wait. He flourished his arm as if to say, wait, your banalities can wait. Banalities means useless ideas, useless remarks, can wait. And passed on. Jagan saw him disappear in the kitchen with resignation. He is bound to come out sooner or later. It's okay. Let him go. Kitchen එකට ගියා වගේ නෙමෙයි, he would come sooner or later. At any time he should come out. Why? No one can stay long in that heat and smoke. So the cooks and the staff, they have got used to the heat and the smoke. ඒ අයට පුරුදුයි. කුස්සිය දුමයි රස්නේ. But outsiders cannot stay there in the kitchen for a long time. Moreover, he will reach satiety soon with those sweets. And even more than that, one can eat sweets up to some point. Right? Sweets ගොඩාක් කන්න බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කනකොට පැණි රස ඇති වෙනවා. So he will reach satiety, satisfaction. He will reach satisfaction soon and come out. The market road suddenly became alive with the shout of the school children just let off. Market road was dead. That means no movement, no sound, like a dead road. At once, market road became alive. That means on the market road there are movements and shouts. Why? School children. A few of them, satchels slung on their shoulders as usual, stood in front of the street mart gaping at the display beyond the glass. So few school children just straight in front of the shop looking at the streets. So these school children may be poor ones. They don't have money to eat sweets. So they just look at them. අපිට ස්වීට්ස් වෙන්නම ඕන නෑ නේද? පියුණක් තියෙනවා, අපේ උණක් තියෙනවා නේද? දැන් හොඳ ඇඳුමක් තියෙනවා, ගාන වැඩි ගන්න බෑ. අපි කඩේට ගිහිල්ලා මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒක දිහා බලන් ඉඳලා එනවා අතපත ගාලා එනවා. ගාලු වාහන ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා නේද? ඉලෙක්ට්‍රික් වාහන BYD ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ගන්න සල්ලි නෑ. හැබැයි ෂෝරූම් එක ළඟට ගිහිල්ලා බලන් ඉඳලා එනවා. ඒක ඇරලා බලලා වාඩි වෙලා ඔක්කොම කරලා එනවා. Same thing. එතකොට මේ පුංචි ළමයින්ට they don't have money to eat sweets. So they just look at them. Jagan watched them from his seat without emotion. Normally, he should feel sympathetic. නේද? එහෙම දුප්පත් ළමයි කන්න නැතුව එහෙම බලන් ඉන්නකොට අනුකම්පාවක් දැනෙන්න ඕන. But Jagan looked at them without any emotion. It's up to their parents to provide them with the sweet, to provide them with the money for sweets. කම්මල තාත්තලා දැනගන්න. සල්ලි දීලා I can't be handling out charity packets. I cannot give them free for charity. He felt apologetic sitting there and collecting the cash. මේ වගේ දුප්පත් ළමයි ස්වීට්ස් කන්න බැරුව බලන් ඉන්නවා. ජගන් මේ වගේ මිනිස්සුන්ගෙන් සල්ලි එකතු කරගන්න. He felt apologetic, very sorry. Right? දැන් මෙතනින් එහාට කල්පනාවේ තියාගන්න ජගන් on one hand the good Jagan, sympathetic Jagan, and on the other hand the business Jagan. මේ දෙන්න ඔළුව ඇතුලේ ආගිව් කරගන්න ජගන්ගේ. Right? මේ අර feeling apologetic, the good Jagan. A vestige of conscience from the days of his public service. A vestige, a remaining part of conscience, idea, knowledge from the days of Satyagraha. Public service. If the public could have joined and subscribed, support, if the public also support him, he'd have given away a portion of his profits in order to provide sweets for every child that gazed at the count. He cannot give free sweets. If the public join with him, he can just give up part of his profit, a contribution හැටියට profit එකනොත් කොටසක් අඩු කරලා he can give sweets for all the children. A business Jagan. And a good Jagan I may know earlier. But this is a poor country. This is a poor country, sir. Per capita income is 3 annas. Per capita income. The earning for a day of a person. එක පුද්ගලයෙකුගේ ආදායම. ඒක පුද්ගල ආදායම. 3 annas a day. දවසකට annas 3යි මිනිස්සෙක් හම්බ කරන්නේ. Underline, he is still stuck to the figure that he had got out of a book called Poverty and British Rule in India in his college days. මෙන්න මේ අයිඩියා එක අපි කලින් කතා කරපු කලින් ඩිස්කස් කරපු අයිඩියා එකක ටැලි වෙනවා. කලින් තිබිච්ච අයිඩියා එකක් මේ කියන අයිඩියා එකෙන් කන්ෆර්ම් කරනවා. මොකක්ද? That Jagan has these figures or this fact he learned as a college student. So that means the figures may be changed now. So the per capita income may not be 3 annas, it may be more than that. But still, for Jagan, he is stuck to these figures. So these are the figures that he learned as a college student. That means he has this outdated knowledge. His knowledge is not updated. මේ වගේම example එකක් අපි කලින් දැක්කා. කොතනද? Can you remember the outdated knowledge of Jagan? The Orion's belt and the pole star. That knowledge he got when he was a Boy Scout. Outdated knowledge. Right? So he doesn't update his knowledge. He's fixed to the figures that he learned someday. But this figure restrained him from demanding of every parent in the town that he spend 8 annas a day in his shop. So in Jagan's shop, sweets cost 8 annas. So how can a parent give money to a child to eat sweets? So the